So when I'm eating,
this sounds really bad for your heart. I don't know.
not, that's a myth.
Is that a myth?
Yeah, that's a myth. That's definitely a myth. I mean, I think for some people genetically they're predisposed to certain heart conditions and certain cholesterol issues.
It doesn't like build up.
No.
When you're
See, this is that thing. It's like you have this like sort of like, what is it? Is that bad for? All the studies that point to meat being bad for your heart are what's called epidemiology studies, and those studies it's where they make people fill out like a questionnaire, like how many times a week do you eat meat?
Right.
Like 5 days a week. And then they looked at those people and they said, oh, there's higher instances of heart disease in those people. But what they don't cover is how many of those fucking people are eating cheeseburgers.
Right.
And how many of those people have industrial seed oils in the cheeseburger and the bun and the fries, which are cooked in industrial seed oils. And how many of them are eating Coca-Cola, drinking Coca-Cola all day long,
ice
which is filled with fucking seed oils,
right?
And corn syrup, like all that shit is what's really bad for you. Well, you know about the studies that were done in, I think it was the 1950s or 1960s, where the sugar industry paid scientists to lie about the source of heart disease and connect it to saturated fats. Mm-hmm. And it was really just bribery.
Yeah.
And they didn't pay him much. They paid him like $50,000. And in paying them that $50,000, see if we can find that. Because the New York Times wrote about this. So people have this idea that meat is bad for you.
Well,
but meat is what people have been eating since the fucking beginning of time.
Right. I remember reading that like the whole idea that fat was bad for you is because of the sugar lobbies, and then they just replaced all of the fat with sugar, and then now we have an obesity epidemic
100%.
essentially. And I do think there's part of the problem with, like, we have a problem. I mean, even flying lately, I'm like, oh my God, every single flight I've been on, they need like 7 wheelchairs. You know, it's just seems more than ever before people are struggling with obesity. And I think it's obviously been proven. And I think a lot of it too is just like confusion about what they should eat.
Yeah.
I feel like there's so much confusion around food.
It's not really confusion. There is confusion, but it's also like that stuff's delicious. And it tricks your body into eating Cheetos. Go back to the top, please. So this is 50 years ago, sugar industry quietly paid scientists to point the blame at fat.
Did anybody get punished for this?
I think they're all dead. Luckily.
But this is also part of the problem. We have the ability for this crap to happen.
Yeah, well, it happens less and less now because of the internet, because this stuff can get out. But yeah, the next year, after several scientific articles were published suggesting a link between sucrose and coronary heart disease, the SRF approved a literature review project, and it wound up paying approximately $50,000 in today's dollars for the research. One of the researchers was chairman of Harvard's Public Health Nutrition Department, an ad hoc member of SRF's board. So they literally paid these scientists to conduct this bullshit study because there was all sorts of articles, scientific articles, suggesting a link between sugar and coronary heart disease.
Oh, my gosh.
They recommended that the industry fund its own studies, which is then we can publish data and refute our detractors.
Someone got paid $50,000 to destroy America.
Literally kill people.